I think we outplayed them on both ends. Obviously, give them credit. They play hardest too, but it just seemed like we wanted this one more. So I think that's the way we have to go about it over these next 2 weeks.
Zach LaVine. Hey, good to see you back. And we don't know, and we're not going to speculate, but Zach's been going through something, and we certainly feel for him and hope everything's okay. But last night was the first time Zach LaVine-ish in a while. 37 minutes, 13 of 18, shooting 40% from beyond the arc. And by the way, 29 points on just one free throw.
Right.
One free throw, a couple of boards, kept at zeros across the board, a plus 20 on the night, tied for the team high at plus 20 with Keon Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good to see him back in. It was good to see him playing, and he was really happy for the way the team played as well.
Yeah, I think we did a good job in the second half versus OKC and playing with more pace because they were running up and down in the first half. So I think we did a better job. We were talking about that, and then I think we did a good job coming into the third quarter as well. Just staying with it because we've had some letdowns in the third quarter, and where we haven't put together a full game. I think this was one of our better games that we put together.
Yeah, there's been too many games, Dave, to me, where he's either been the shot attempts have been too low, right, passive, not aggressive, a non-factor, maybe floating at times. And so, that stat that we have now, 22 points or more, which is a very reachable number for him.
Yeah.
They're 8-3. And so, because I feel like if you get that, we always know that DeMar will get a number. He may not be efficient, but he's going to get his points. And then if you get what you want and need out of Keon and Keegan defensively, Sabonis filling the stat page and kind of the rest of the role players doing their part, again, we're not talking about a championship team. We're far from talking about that.
Sure.
But I just don't know why they can't be a team that, they're running out of time now, but before to be in that 6, 7, 8 range where the reality is they're trying to stay in 9 or 10. I think they can, but we're getting later and later in the season. And even in the last 10 games, if you can build some sort of momentum where you feel better just going into, if you're in the playing game, doesn't guarantee you anything, but we're just coming off a stretch where it's like, man, I know they played good teams. They had a decent stretch here and there in some of these games. We're like, I don't know when they're going to win again. And now they play well, they win. And I think he's a big part of those results. If he plays well, they're pretty good.
8-3, as you said earlier, 22 or more for Zach LaVine. They're 8-3. I don't know what the number is, but I'd honestly be curious as to what the Kings' record is when LaVine outscores DeRozan as opposed to the other way around. I have a weird feeling it would be better when I think DeRozan is better as a facilitator than LaVine would be. In other words, I'd rather see LaVine scoring 29 and DeRozan have 10 assists, I think, than see DeRozan score 29 and LaVine have 10 assists.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And then, something we've been talking about for a while is, and Malik didn't start last night, I think Keon should be.
Yeah.
But I can't figure out if they'd be better off with Malik coming off the bench or DeRozan coming off the bench. You can argue. I could argue for both.
Yeah.
But I feel like it needs to be one of them. Malik's done it before.
Yeah.
It's not that DeRozan can't.
Just think it's repetitive. I think either way, I think that question is going to be solved going into next year, one way or the other.
But like for the rest of this,
who knows? I don't see the team benching DeRozan. That sounds bad. I don't see the team having DeRozan come off the bench. Very difficult for me to see that. What I do see is them kind of doing this. I could see Malik coming off the bench more than any of them.
Yeah.
LaVine ain't coming off the bench.
Yeah.
DeRozan probably isn't coming off the bench. Malik, is being a good guy about it.
Right.
But I think with DeRozan likely gone in the offseason, I think if they're going to reset this, I don't think LaVine will be gone because if for no other reason, I don't think you can have him be gone. And by the way, you may not want him to be gone. Monk, I highly doubt. So I think they might have that opportunity next year, and it would be very interesting seeing if they're, you're rolling out if you're rolling out a starting lineup and you're going with like an Ellis, Ellis, Monk, LaVine, Murray, Sabonis lineup, you don't have a true point guard in there either.
Right.
But what is a true point guard? What's a false point guard? I mean, is the true point guard thing overblown in the sense that they have the second best passing center in the league? Does he make up for it a little bit?
Some, but not, I wouldn't say entirely.
I remember a day not that long ago in the NBA where you had to have a true point guard. You had to have a Chris Paul or a John Stockton or a John Rondo even, or a Ramon Sessions. You know, somebody that was out there looking to make plays and get assists, and they were the guys that are going to get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 assists a night. I get that. I wonder if are we still there? Like, are we still there where in this world of positionless basketball where, and by the way, I'm not convinced, Jason. I'm looking at, for example, your leaders right now.
In assists?
Yeah. So you got Trae Young, who's obviously a real point guard, followed by Nikola Jokic, who is incredibly not a real point guard. Cade Cunningham's a point guard, but he's 6'6".
He's kind of a combo, but yeah.
Halliburton's a true point guard. Harden...
He's been playing that spot.
Point guard. That's number 5. LeBron,
right.
Chris Paul, obviously. Brunson, Booker, Lillard. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3. You've got at least half of those guys that are not true point guards.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the sense of if they had a true point guard, that point guard, and let's use Chris Paul because I feel like he's like if you took the picture of true point guard in the league, even though he's way up there in age, it feels like that's the picture.
Yeah.
If he were this team's point guard, I feel like in the group that they had, he would sort out DeRozan and LaVine a little bit better. Now,
yes,
I don't know what that means. Still, there's still kind of there's some duplication there and some conflict, but I think it would be better and smoother. But to what level, I don't know.
From the text line 916-339-1140, Zach LaVine is a buster. Numbers versus a bad defensive team. Empty calories.
Okay.
We said in the beginning, I understand that it's Portland, but Portland beat the Kings the last 2 games. Still NBA team. They're not playing the Wizards. If anything, if Portland has any strength, it's defense. And Chimani Kamara was on Zach LaVine at times last night. Matisse Thybulle was on Zach LaVine last night. These are some of the best defenders in the NBA. I understand the sentiment.
Yeah.
But also, it's not like Zach LaVine hasn't put up numbers against good teams.
Right.
Either. Now, I'm not trying to do a full-throated defense of Zach LaVine as an NBA player. But
yeah, he's also just did it for 1 game. We said, like, it's less about Portland. It's like, look, if he can do this,
that's right.
What will the team be? Like, was Sabonis' numbers empty? Were Keon's 6 steals empty? Like, what? This is going back to the phone call.
I know.
What did I call him?
Were you trying to combine? Did you have Sabonis and Keon?
I don't know.
Because you said Sabonis.
Maybe it was Bonnie. What is happening?
I want to remember the phone call the other day we were on when
because I said 2 words together and like, one made sense. I don't know what the other word was. There was not a trailing word that would have made it happen.
And I caught you on the phone and we talked about it. And it was like he said like flurve or something.
Yeah. So, and I think I was trying to say fall about numbers, like if numbers fall, and I said flurve. Like, what is that? And it wasn't like a curveball or
curve. Yeah.
No, I didn't have a trailing word.
That does sound, because we were talking about curveball. Yeah. That does sound, but I mean, what were you thinking? All right.
Well, Sabonis.
I'm such a D for calling you. Like if you called every single time I said something weird, that's all we would do on this show. We'll take a break. When we come back, is Sabonis hot? We'll throw you a flurve ball. Who's hot? Who's not? We'll recap 3 of the Kings.